Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I am back again doing your February 2016 monthly tarot horoscopes. This is for everyone with their ascendant, sun, or moon in the lovely Leo. This is for the big kitties out there. And I am back using my regular Shadowscapes deck. And I have been saying in the beginning, I really appreciate your love and support and, you know, sharing all my videos and liking, subscribing. But also, I didn't give everybody the heads up when I decided to do the rentals for the sex and the relationship videos. And I'm sorry about that. I hadn't really premeditated on it prior to me doing it. I thought it was something that I would try. Because YouTube has changed their monetization policy with YouTube Red, which has significantly reduced any income from the videos through the Google ads. So it's one of those things that I'm happy with this change, and I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to rent my mid-February readings yet. I'm going to, in my mind, pretty much at this time be offering the regular general readings that are going to remain free and available for everyone, and I'm going to be posting those like I usually do around the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th of the month. And I want to keep something on my channel that's accessible to everybody. So most likely this is what will keep doing. But if I do the mids, I may do rentals, and the sex and relationships going forward will always be rented out from now on. If you want a private reading, feel free to check out my website, oracledaphne.com. I do have a calendar page that shows my availability all through February. As an FYI, guys, my calendar page is just a calendar, so you will need to email me, elizabetholson31@gmail.com, what your availability, what you would like to schedule, and you know, what day or time, and I will send you an invoice if it's still available, or let you know, hey, I booked that already. You know, maybe pick another day or time. So that is my spiel. I have been saying that there's a lot going on at the end of February for everybody. It's kind of a very big deal type time. You know, it's interesting because before I did these readings, I couldn't really see that for some reason. And maybe I did that in my predictive readings, I don't remember, but like I'm feeling this time around very, very emotional. These videos, I'm pretty much crying like every single video because there's a lot of stuff going on with people at the end of February, or just people in general at this time. So something to bear in mind. This is not a time for extreme stuff at the end of February. I would definitely tell you to avoid anything really out of your comfort zone or really that's kind of wild or extreme, although, you know, cats are a little bit wild, so you're naturally going to want to do it, but do things a little bit more premeditated, like, okay, I'm going to do these things, and I'm going to go there, I'm going to do that, and make sure you've got your wallet, your purse, everything together. Try to keep it together and plan ahead as best you can for February, because a lot of things are going to, like, you know, happen kind of, not randomly, but out of the blue, okay? And there's a couple of cards that just flew out here. So I'm laying out your spread. I am back using my regular Shadowscapes deck. This is by Stephanie Puy-Moon Law. You can find it on Amazon. It's interesting because you may be in a relationship with a Cancer, or there may be someone that you've been dating that's a Cancer, or even Gemini too. That did show up too also. I'm just going to start off with the two cards in the center. They did fly out when I was talking, okay? The King of Wands, to me this is, sorry, not the King of Wands, the Knight of Wands. To me this is you, okay? Not paying attention. It's interesting. All the stuff that I say prior, like I'm channeling, it actually shows up in my reading. So when I say make sure you've got your keys, you got your wallet, you got everything that you need to get when you go out, plan ahead. These things are really going to be crucial for you. It's just the beginning of February. The energy is kind of going too fast, not paying attention, not seeing too far ahead, okay? This is also checking somebody out, but it's the Knight of Wands in reverse. And the Knight of Wands in my deck is also being swept away in the current, caring too much about what others think, not enough about what you want, doing what other people want. This is needing courage. This is needing strength and courage to kind of push forward or push ahead. This is guy or girl. I don't feel like this is just guys here or just girls. Well, this is the Knight, so most likely it's the Leo male energy here, who's just kind of going with the flow too much. You may also have some strong Cancer in your chart or strong Gemini in your chart where you're really caring a lot about what others think, or even Libra too. It's linking up with the Justice card, and the Justice card a lot of times is the Libra. So you may have Leo and Libra in your chart. Somewhere. You care too much either what your partner thinks, or you're like, it's like always like, you asking your partner, what do you want to have for dinner? And they're like, well, I don't know. What do you want to have? And you go back and forth. Well, I don't know. Maybe we should get pizza. And then the other person's like, well, I was really thinking we should do Chinese. And then you say, okay, well, let's do Chinese, even though you really don't want Chinese, but you're going to good Chinese anyways. And you end up going out getting Chinese. So it's just like you're not standing your ground. And this is just an example, okay? On another level, it could be something more serious where you're like, you go in for a job interview and what you really would like is $15 an hour, but they say, well, we can only offer you 11. And you say, well, that's not really what I'm looking for, but okay. And so you take it despite the fact that it's not going to pay you enough to eat more than carrots for, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's one of those things you need to really stand your ground more and be stronger and be courageous. And this is not taking risks in an unhealthy way, but this is like personal things where it's like speaking up for yourself, saying things how you really feel, telling people not what they want to hear, but what you are thinking or what you're feeling, and connecting with them in a way. This is also not seeing the bigger picture. You're not seeing where you're going, whereas the Knight of Wands in a way is looking ahead, but they're not looking far enough. In a way, you're not looking ahead at all. This is sort of stagnation. A little bit of stagnation beginning of February, feeling a little bit just like, where am I going? What the fuck am I doing? Why am I here? What country am I in again? Wondering about these things. All these bigger questions, the life questions. You may not know where you're going in your life. You may feel like a little bit lost, but that's okay, because you don't stay lost forever. Eventually you find your way. Eventually things even out. In time, that's just how it goes. The universe doesn't allow people to stay lost forever. People go through a period of time where they feel lost, usually after a breakup or divorce, and you do have the Justice card in the future, so you may be considering a divorce, you may be considering a breakup, there may be something that you're going through, you may have already either separated or moved away from your partner, but maybe the divorce hasn't been finalized yet, and you're just not sure what you're doing. You're just kind of confused, and there's some level of a dark cloud hanging over your head because you have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, okay? Nine of Pentacles upright is a star card. I call it the star card. The person who's the music star, the movie star, the YouTube star, the person that's just very empowered and well known in their community and the world too. It's being very in the major focus, in the limelight. And to me, Leos are, that person who's just naturally vibrant, naturally radiant, they naturally have a certain glow. It's hard to look at them because they're just they're very bright, they're very vibrant, they have a certain something that other people don't have. Usually they're very good looking, and usually they have larger than life personalities. Some Leos, it depends on what's going on in their chart. They can be a little bit more shy and a little bit more reserved. For you not to have courage, you've lost your courage a little bit. you need to find it again. Okay, you need to kind of find yourself again and look back at everything that you've been through and pat yourself on the back and say, you know what, I went through all that. It took courage for me to go through that. If you're going through a divorce, it takes courage to get out of a relationship. It takes courage. So you have courage, you just forgotten that you have it. Okay, and you need to do it more, and you need to look back at it and say, you know, and if for those of you who can't think of a time when you were ever courageous, when you never stood up for yourself, it's time to start doing so. That's the major message. It's time to start making that change. But going back to the Nine of Pentacles, okay, the Star card in reverse, and again, nobody else could have this because this is my interpretation of this card. It says a dark cloud hanging over your happiness and hanging over your head. Okay, too much work, not enough playtime. These are restrictions, This is restrictions, rules, and suffocation. Feeling like you can't do what you want to do. Feeling like, you know, it's the dark cloud. It's that feeling like, oh my God, like everything sucks ass. You know, you feeling like really depressed and like, you know, not depressed, but like down about things, or not feeling like good about things. Feeling like you either aren't going to get what you want, aren't getting what you want, aren't going where you want, aren't able to do what you want. So like some of you may be just, in a way, stuck in your head. Because to me, this is like a mood. This is where you need to take a day off. You need to say, you know what, I'm going to take a day off. I'm going to go out. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do and not give a shit, you know, that kind of thing, you know. If you're in school, or if you're younger, or if you have a lot of responsibilities, work responsibilities, you need to take a little downtime. You know, Leos need to have fun. If Leos or Tauruses, to me, the two of them, they aren't having fun, then everybody else is miserable. Because when a Leo is miserable, everybody's miserable. Okay, it's not a fun time. And so the thing is that we can't. The world can't be our playground 100% of the time. It's important for Leos to have that balance of career and fun. So like if you're out of balance, you've got too much career, not enough fun, you need to bring that back up. Okay, if you have too much fun and not enough career, you need to bring that back up. So this is what the dynamic is, I feel like, going forward, beginning of February, even into middle of February. I also feel like if you've got a pending divorce or something going on with some separation, some breakup happening in the middle of February, then it is kind of blocking you from seeing your way forward, because it's like this is some hurdle that you have to get over. It's a major arcana. It's got to happen for your growth. So understand that you're going through this process. I feel like maybe you don't really want to get a divorce. Maybe some of you didn't see it coming. Some of you may or may not have like had a kind of backup plan, like that was your plan. You know, you didn't have an insurance policy person on the side. You really were just totally all in to your partner, and suddenly it's just not working out, and they filed a divorce paper. So it's kind of one of those things where even if that scenario isn't happening to you, it's still a major arcana. It's still something that you're going to go through, something that you're going to learn from, and it's going to be okay. It's interesting because I was talking about needing to take a vacation, and this is the vacation card as the foundation. This is taking time for yourself to be reflective, taking time to have reflective time, to have fun time, to relax, to not stress, to not think about what you have to do, where you have to go, what you have to say. To me, this is also someone who has the potential to be a star, and for some reason is like working. So like say you're working like full-time, sort of like what I was, like at a law firm or in a dental office, or doing something that is not what your talent and gift is, but you're doing it anyways for the money. You're not really totally coming into your own because you yourself are delaying it. Okay, it's sort of like you're meant to be a star. And Leos naturally are, okay? It's natural. You get born and then suddenly you're a star. You're a pop star. You're a singer. You're, a YouTube star. And suddenly it's like, but if you're not either doing that and you're doing something else, then you're not really walking on that path. I feel like some of you have potential, but you're not living up to your potential. So you need to like really dream bigger and push harder and just kind of explore what your talents and gifts are and live up to your potential. I feel like some of you are getting like, I'm getting around like early 20s, like between, I say 22 to like 24, 22, 23, 24. Some of you, this I feel like is more applicable to you. The older Leos, I feel like you're not taking enough time for yourself. You're not taking any downtime, any time to have fun, any time to relax. You're going to work, you're going to the gym, and you're coming home, and that's it. And you're lucky if you kiss your partner goodnight. You know, so there's something that's holding you back. Whether it's negativity, your own negativity, your fears, your doubts, your worries, whether it's you doing something that's not what your talent and gifts are, or whether you're just, in a way, I want to say procrastinating. You're procrastinating. You're making excuses for yourself. You maybe making excuses why you shouldn't leave this partnership, or why you shouldn't get a divorce, or why you shouldn't go into basket weaving or whatever it is your talent is, or why you shouldn't be doing what you would normally be doing. There's some kind of element where it's sort of like you're destined to be a star, but you really just they're like putting it off. Some of you may not want to be, you know. Some of you are like, but that's going to suck. You don't see the positive. You're seeing the negative, okay? This is also the person that is famous or the person that is very well known, and there's just a lot of pressure, and there's a lot on your plate, and there's a lot of, it's very hard. Okay, so it's interesting because I was sort of dealing with this yesterday where I was kind of buried. I call it being buried, where there's too many emails, there's too many things that I have to do, there's too much recording, too many, too much of everything, and it's too much like it's overwhelming, it's like too much pressure, and the thing is, I love what I do, and it's good that I'm busy, but at the same time, there are times when I need to say, okay, I need to like decompress, and I like to not think about those things. I need to not communicate with the world right now. I need to just take some time for myself. So if you need some downtime and like you're famous, you need to like go away to like someplace that's tropical. Or you need to just take, maybe take a little time for yourself, a couple of days where you're not engaging with the world. And I do have to say here, there's all of these things about Instagram and Snapchat and like Twitter and like Facebook, and it's just like out of control, social media out of control, and I already have I have 2 channels. I had 3 channels. I have 2 channels that I'm actively using. I have like 5 emails. It's just out of control. I have 2 Twitter accounts. It's just like social stuff in a way becomes a burden if there's so much of it. And you can't maybe get to it, or you can't talk to people, and you're just sort of bogged down. This element of being bogged down, okay? And it's not bogged down like forever, but it's just bogged down for right now, where things are not in balance, where you're just like, you're not in balance with what you're supposed to be doing, or you're doing too much of it. You may be like me, where you're recording videos like every single day, or you're trying to respond to everybody on social media, and you can't get to all of it. It's just a lot sometimes. It's a lot. And so, and other YouTubers will understand, but like the general public may not understand that kind of pressure, And you may be like uber famous, where like you are watching this and you're like, there's a lot of people that are watching you, and you're in the public eye, and there's a lot of pressure, and you can't get to everybody, and then you feel like maybe you're disappointing people. You're caring too much about, in a way, social media or people, what people think of you, or and you're not taking the time for yourself, and you're not boosting your own self-esteem to doing healthy things that make you happy, doing things that make you feel good, doing things that make you who you are, like what you enjoy. Like it's like the person that spends their entire day on social media, but really what they really want to do is go outside for a run. What they really want to do is go for the bike ride. What they really want to do is play with their horses. But what they're doing instead is like, worrying about social media, worrying about what other people think, or, there's just too much of that. So I want to say, take a little time out. You need to take some time out. And if you're getting over a divorce, you need some time out to get over it. You need some time out to just, and then you do have the council card in the recent past, which is, and it's hard to see this image, but it's like a tree that's talking to this like little critter. The critter goes to the tree and says, I got some questions for you. My life's not so good right now. My life has turned to shit, and I need you to tell me, what can I do to make it better? Now, you may be the tree, okay? You may be a little bit older and a little bit wiser. You may be like an older Leo. You've been there and you've done that, and you've kind of settled down, and you've kind of gotten into your groove. You're a little bit older, and everything's good. But you may be a younger Leo. You may be a little critter going to the tree saying, what do I do? What the fuck do I do? How do I live life? How do I get through everything? How do I make everybody happy? And the tree is telling you, you can't make everybody happy. But what you can do is make yourself happy every now and again, or at least every day, or try to make yourself happy every single day. And stop worrying about what other people think. And the shaggy bark hickory, which is me, okay, would tell you that I feel like this divorce is needed. I feel like if you're in a very restrictive relationship too, or you were in a very restrictive relationship where your partner was trying to dictate what you needed to do, and you weren't able to do your passion. So say you are a YouTuber, let's just say, or say you are like an actor or an actress, but like your partner doesn't want you to. And your partner wants them to, you to make it all about them while you're not in your right path. You're getting distracted by them, and they weren't healthy for you. You were in a relationship with the devil, okay? So your ex-partner was very controlling, I want to say. And even if some of you were still in a relationship with the devil. I feel like in February, I don't feel like everybody's going to be getting out of it, okay? Now male Leos, you may be the devil, but I don't necessarily feel like this is you, okay? I feel like this is a partner. So male Leos, you may be in a relationship with a she-devil, like a she-beast, someone who's very bitchy and controlling and just is like dictating to you like everything, and you're just like sick of it. You're like, okay, I have a say in what fucking carpet we get. I have a say in what car we drive. I have a say in where our kids go to school. I have a say in what we're doing tomorrow for lunch. You have a say, okay? So speak your mind. Put your foot down. That's kind of what needs to happen. I want to say female Leos are in a relationship or have been in a relationship with someone who's very, very controlling, and they're not allowing them to do what they want to do or doing what they need to do. And Leos need a certain element of freedom. They need to feel like it's okay to roam. If they're on too tight a leash, they're not happy. Okay, if a Leo is settled and in a partnership that's like 50-50 partnership, and in a happy relationship, and committed, then you're golden. But if you're dealing with a single Leo or a Leo who likes his freedom, you're never going to be happy. Okay, I want to say. Like female Leos, you may be dating like a male Leo who's just like doesn't care. They're just like, they have problems. They have their own problems. I feel like you may have been in a relationship with someone who has some drug and alcohol problems, or just alcohol problems. This is someone who's addicted. You may feel, okay, so you may be the Leo who may also have some Aries, Capricorn, or Taurus in their chart, specifically Capricorn, or you may have been in a relationship with a Capricorn. You may be the Leo that feels stuck and trapped in a relationship that you can't quite get out of, and you want to get out of it. Maybe you've already filed for divorce, but like I said, you're still living there, or there's still element where this person is still taking your energy via the cord of attachment, or this person still has your heart in their hands. This is also giving your power away to someone who doesn't deserve it. Like this is like you like wanting to shower someone with love, or still loving someone who treated you like absolute shit. Again, I feel like some of you are getting treated like shit, getting treated really poorly, and Leos need to be in a partnership that makes them feel like a king or queen, that makes them feel amazing, okay? They need to have that respect. If they don't have respect, it just doesn't work, okay? But if you're in a relationship with someone who's, I feel like the element of control, someone who's very controlling, you need to get out of it because I don't feel like you're going to be happy. The Devil card is blocking your happiness. And you would have the Star card, another Star card. When 2 cards like that show up, I mean, there is a very clear message here, okay? And this is an Aquarius female. So you may have an Aquarius female around you who's very healing and very loving. This may be a potential relationship a new relationship. Leo Aquarius naturally has, they naturally have chemistry, Leo Aquarius. I mean, they're opposites. So there's like a natural attraction there. So to me, this is moving on and transitioning. Some of you are just transitioning from an old relationship into a new. But you're having a difficult time because you're still thinking a lot about your ex-partner. You're still giving them your power view, your thoughts. You're still leaving a little piece of your heart available to them when you need to say, no fucking way, no more, like, done. Don't talk to them. Don't communicate with them. It's over. If you file for divorce, it's over, period, end of story. Don't even consider going back. Don't let them convince you to go back. Don't let them trap you. Don't let them, like, if you, like, there's a lot of people that come to me and they say, well, I tried to leave my husband, but I can't. No. And, like, their husband has tracked them down and said, taken their bed and said, no, you're not going, kind of thing, in almost a very physically forceful way. This is the very negative stuff, guys. Very negative stuff. So if you're in that situation, this is, like, where 100-fold you need to leave. I don't care what you have to do. Change your name, change your number, block, and then be done. It doesn't matter what you have to do, but you have to cut it off. You have to break away from him or from her. Whoever it is that's very controlling in your life, they need to go. That's it. Because they're not respecting you, and you need that respect again. You're a Leo. You need that love and respect. It's negative for you to be this low. I feel like for Leos to be low, it's a sad thing. What I said in the beginning, feeling low in the beginning of February, I don't like that. And I feel like you have some hot and cold moments. You may feel like shit, and then you may feel a little bit better. You may feel like shit, and then you may feel like a little bit better. Where you're like, you know, you're concerned about relationships, and then you're thinking about you again, and you're healthy, you're thinking about, you know, going forward, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, you kind of take a step backward, or 2 steps backward, where you're thinking back again about this ex-partner. No. Like, it's not good. If you are in a very supportive, I mean, you do have the 3 of Pentacles, which is a very supportive, mutual, supportive relationship. If you are in a very supportive, loving relationship, then everything else that I said does not apply to you. You may be, though, working too much and needing some time to yourself, or just so you're not working so much, or you're not focused on work, doing other things, having some fun time. That's what needs to happen, I feel like, for those of you who are single, or for those of you who are in a relationship that's healthy, okay? Again, the outcome's the Star card. This is the medium. This is the person who channels. This is the person who's going through a transition. This is a person who's in the flow, okay? And this is also healing. This is also, you know, light from heaven, really kind of building you back up. You're blocked from that because you have the Devil card in the position of your attitude, which means you feel stuck, like you can't, and then you're not taking any action steps to get out of whatever it is that you feel stuck in. It could be a job, and it could also be chained to money. Some people are in a job just to do it. If you're in a job just to do it, to collect the paycheck, you're stuck. You may be the job may be what's like a cloud hanging over your head. You may be in a very restrictive type job, where you're constantly working, or you're constantly thinking about it, or your boss is like very, very controlling. This could be like a whole work scenario, because the 3 of Pentacles is sometimes a work card, a business card, a co-worker card. So some of you just need to look for a new job, and you'll find one, okay? Because you got the Page of Pentacles. Some of you are thinking about going back to school or finishing school. There's a school element here. Some of you are just like, I don't have any money. How the fuck am I going to do anything? And there's a serious concern about money, but the devil is taunting you and saying, you're never going to have enough. It's never going to be enough. You're never going to get to where you want to do. You're never going to finish school and blah, blah, blah. But no, forget that. You're going to either finish school, you're going to either go back to school, or you're going to get a new job. That's what you need to put in your mind. I'm getting a new job. I have a new job. Say it to yourself, I already have a new job. I have finished school. I have, taken that test. I have passed. I am, ready to go. The page is something new. It's the opportunity, that light, that seed of something new. So you need to, some of you are a little bit more material. Leos can be a little bit more materialistic. This is, wanting, spending more than you have, thinking that you don't have anything when you really have a ton. Again, it's the addict. You may be addicted to clothes. You may be addicted to shopping. You may be addicted to spending. You may be addicted in some way to a person. This is the mindset you're in. More. The cookie monster of money, okay? It's very important that you stop with that negativity, that's thinking towards that relationship towards money, and think, okay, I'm going to be practical. I'm going to figure out how to get through this. I'm going to figure what I'm going to do to do it. Maybe you have to sell some stuff on Etsy. Maybe you have to sell yourself some stuff on eBay. Maybe you have to sell some stuff on Amazon. Whatever it is that you do to make it happen for yourself, this is the practical. Going practical. The Page of Pentacles is practical. The Page of Pentacles is going to school and hoping for a getting some kind of return for, finishing school, too, in a lot of cases. But I feel like if you focus on the positive and the new opportunities and making sure that happens, I feel like you will get to a point of healing, and you will get to a point where transitioning from one maybe shitty situation or maybe one thing to the next. I feel like fixed signs have a difficult time because they're like that bird clinging onto that branch, and they don't know when it's time to let go. They don't know when it's safe to move on. So they have a difficult time with transition. So you may be kind of transitioning from one point in your life to another. Know that you will get through it. Know that there will be healing to be had, and know that you will have more fun. I feel like you will have more fun in the future, because this is just it's a little dark cloud. Dark clouds go away. So we're just gonna magically get the dark clouds away and focus on the positive. So I'm gonna leave you there. And I have these gorgeous roses that I got for my birthday. It's a beautiful pink rose. It looks like almost purple in this light, but I send you lots of love and romance for February. Happy Valentine's Day. And I send you big hugs, big kisses. And I will be back again for either my mid-February videos or my March videos. So stay tuned, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Okay, take care. All the best. Okay, bye.